Hey, I'm John Cannell, and today on Preppy Kitchen we're making some quick and delicious deviled eggs. Quick and delicious deviled eggs. So let's get started. First off, you want to grab 6 eggs, but not just any eggs. You want the older eggs in the back of your refrigerator that are on the tail end of being good, because fresh eggs are horrible to peel. They will really give you nightmares. So in this case, older is better. Place them into a medium pot carefully, along with 2 teaspoons of salt and 2 teaspoons of vinegar. There we go. Now we're gonna fill this with water so the eggs are covered by 1 to 2 inches of water. This is me as an influencer with a product online. All right, cold water is fine for this, by the way. I'm gonna bring this to boil over medium-high heat, and once these eggs are boiling, set a timer for 7 minutes and no more. I've totally overboiled the eggs and it is not cool. The yolks become so rubbery and they can also be discolored. So not only is your filling gonna be not silky smooth, it's gonna be not beautifully like orangey yellow. You'll have little flecks of gray. So you do not wanna overboil them. By the way, if you're wondering why they're called deviled eggs, deviling something was a way of making something spicy and I think richer too. So you had lots of different things that were deviled. However, deviled eggs are like the one thing that's still really popular. Now you know. As soon as your 7-minute timer goes off, these delicious little eggs have to go into an ice bath. That'll stop the cooking, and in theory, it'll help the egg pull away from the shell, making it easier to peel. Because these eggs are gonna peel easily. Positive intentions. These eggs can chill out in their ice bath for 10 minutes so they cool completely. And in the meantime, we're gonna wanna grab the rest of the ingredients for our delicious deviled eggs. So just make sure you have your mayo, Dijon mustard, a little bit more vinegar, some salt and pepper, and paprika. My eggs are completely cool. It's time to peel them. They'll be peeling so easily because everything was done properly. Look at this. Oh, magic. Isn't that wonderful? If you have any little tiny fragments of shells hanging out on your egg, or even fear that that might be the case, just dip them back in your water and give them a shake, and all the shells will fly off because there's no more surface tension. And think good thoughts. Deviled eggs, by the way, can be traced all the way back to ancient Rome, where boiled eggs were eaten with delicious spices, although I find ancient Roman recipes to be like, no, there's like a lot of like cured seafood nonsense happening that I just don't like personally. No offense to them. We're gonna peel the rest of these and then cut them in half very carefully. I also wanna talk about some of the many variations you can do, because this is a classic deviled egg recipe, but think of it as the base upon which you can build and make this recipe your own. I've had pretty good luck with these eggs. Only one of them was troublesome, but the rest have been pretty nice. You have to watch out because sometimes you'll peel the eggs and you think, oh my gosh, this is going great. But you're just peeling the shell off, not this horrible little membrane. Keeps the egg safe, but not delicious, and I don't like it. This is a really classic, I think, Easter recipe. It's great for picnics and everything else, but I love making these all the time. I love boiled eggs, and deviled eggs are just more delicious boiled eggs. And you can definitely make these in so many different ways. They look really fancy, but it's a quick and easy treat that I find very snackable. As long as those eggs peel nicely, which these ones did, I'm so happy about that. I would give this a 7.9 out of 10 for peeling. All right, it's time to cut our eggs in half carefully. We want to maintain that beautiful, nice edge, don't we? Carefully remove. Perfectly cooked egg, not at all gray. We're gonna put the egg yolks into the bowl and leave our egg whites to the side. Okay, continue slicing them in half. To my yolks, I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise. 1. And this is gonna make it creamy and really rich and just lovely. Mayonnaise is great. If you don't like mayonnaise, I'm so sorry, but it really has its place. If you need a substitution for mayonnaise, just because you cannot stomach it, or maybe you're allergic, although you'd be allergic to eggs, in which case, I would use sour cream, but really mayo has the perfect tang for this. Interestingly enough, mayonnaise wasn't used in deviled eggs until the 1940s, so you could skip it and pretend you're doing some historical eating. The real spiciness comes from 1.5 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, just like that. I'm also adding 1 teaspoon of white vinegar in here. This acidity just gives it a little bit more bite. Now we're gonna use a fork to mash this together. And if you wanted to, there are so many things you could add to this. For some extra flavor, you could add a few drops of truffle oil. You could add some more paprika. We're gonna use paprika as a garnish, but you could add smoked paprika in here, a little bit of chili. The list goes on. You could even add some avocado for an avocado deviled egg. I would just do like 1/4 of a really beautifully ripe avocado for that. A lot of the other additions could be sprinkled on top. Deviled eggs are so retro. Like I said earlier, they've been made since ancient Roman times, many iterations since, and the creamier ones we have now are truly delicious. I think you should make them all the time. I'm gonna be piping this, so I want it to be really smooth. If you're not piping it, you could add crumbled bits of bacon in there. You could add so many like jalapeno pieces. Tons of delicious things can go inside. But if you're piping it to be really beautiful, then you're gonna wanna sprinkle those delicious crunchy things on top. Okay, speaking of which, even though this is nicely mashed, this is a lumpy nightmare, very triggered. So this is gonna get passed through a sieve, and then I'm gonna pipe it. Totally optional, but it's gonna be so beautiful and have a really lovely, creamy mouthfeel. If this seems fussy to you, it is, and I can be fussy sometimes, but I love the end result. Do you need to do it? Absolutely not. It's just if you wanna pipe it and have no texture issues. If I was making this for my kids on a weekday, no, I'm not gonna do that. It would just be slopped in there and be really delicious and everyone would eat them in 5 seconds. This is what I would do if I was having people over or making this on camera for somebody else. You wanna go the extra step so it's really pretty. Come take a look at the finished texture. It is so creamy. Look at that. Gorgeous. Now we're just gonna pipe the yolk in, and we have a lot of filling, so pipe it on high. Garnish your deviled eggs however you'd like. I'm doing a pinch of paprika and some pepper, but you could add chopped pickles, crumbled bacon. Anything that you like that's delicious will be great on these. There is no wrong answer. It's always best to enjoy your deviled eggs right after you make them, and honestly, as soon as they are done, people will lift them up and they will disappear. But if you have any left over, you can keep them in the fridge in an airtight container overnight and enjoy them the next day. These deviled eggs are so delicious. Creamy, spicy, with a nice hit of acid. I could eat the whole batch, but I might just share them. I hope you enjoy this recipe, and if you like this video, check out my appetizer playlist.